Today, I just bought one of my favorite childhood toys to relive my childhood. Cybertron Sideways is one of my favorite Transformers toys. Not only was the original such a dope design and toy, but it's also Sideways. He's just one of the coolest characters in Transformers ever. So, with the announcement that they were going to be making a new one, I was pretty excited. But just how good is the new Cybertron Sideways?
Let's peep this out.
Alt mode is basically the same as the original, with the exception of a smaller cyber planet key, which I'm fine with. It's got a really cool Martian alien shape to it with the backwards wings. Super sick looking. Though I do have to say there is one major downside to this, and that's the parts forming. You see, there was no parts forming on the original figure whatsoever. But, I mean, like, these wings do come off because the leg transformation's a little different, and by a little different, I mean worse. But that being said, there was no reason that this couldn't still be attached to the arm. But it's not, and plugging it in is a lot more obnoxious than I'd like. Not difficult, just a little tedious and not quite my tempo. Likewise, his robot mode is still really cool, though unfortunately it is a bit of a downgrade compared to the OG. Now, I don't have an original Sideways to compare it with, so you're going to have to take my word for it, but while it does have some minor articulation improvements, the overall paintwork is a little worse, though I do believe that's mostly for show accuracy. But even worse, some parts that previously weren't are now hollow. You know, I got back into Transformers back in 2019 because I saw that the new Optimus Prime had leg fillers incorporated with the transformation. He also just looks a little bit worse, like his cockpit chest is a little smaller, which I guess that's cool, but his waist is a lot longer. Again, it could be show accurate, but I also don't really care. Now, on the topic of extra articulation, it's only a little better. Like, his leg joints are slightly better as they're not ball joints. Both of these wing flaps are separate. And then he's got a pivot and a waist joint. This whole situation kind of reminds me of this guy, Age of the Prime Silverbolt, which had the criticism of, oh, they completely revamped and made the original figure, but worse, all for the sake of one singular joint with the waist. But then you bring in the original figure, and then you slowly realize, yeah, okay, maybe this guy could have used a facelift at least a little bit. But to put things in perspective, here he is with Cannonball, another one of my childhood toys from Cybertron. More importantly, I think this guy is a whole lot better because he doesn't have one of the worst cases of Rodimus joints I've ever seen in my life. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a really cool toy, and it is a little unnecessary because it's just the original but worse, but come on, man. You can never have an unnecessary Sideways toy.